All right, and welcome to this episode of The Capitalist Investor. You got myself, Tony the Tiger, and I got my one of my colleagues here, Luke, Cool Hand Luke, and
Young Padawan.
yeah, and then we got Derek's on assignment, so we miss him already.
I'm getting hungry. My belly's rumbling.
I know, man. I know.
It's almost lunchtime.
It is, man.
What are you eating for lunch today?
I don't know yet. I don't know. It's kind of. We had power issues in the office.
Some me and you are the only ones in the office, so I'm probably just gonna go grab lunch on the way home if that's okay with you. So
yeah, you do.
But anyway,
you do, man.
I'm definitely gonna grab a nice juicy, I think, a sub sandwich somewhere. That's
nice.
what I'm feeling. Maybe a Reuben actually.
Okay, there you
that
go,
sounds
man.
good. Anyway,
hey, at least you have a game plan.
what do you got today?
All right, so today, I don't know what the word I want to really use, but how the proof, not proof, it could be proof, but scenarios of how the government officials are tax efficient or tax inefficient, I should say. They mess up their own taxes or tax strategies, yet they're going to come out and tell you how to do your taxes, what strategies you can implement and what you can't, and provide all the rules when at the very top they're messing it up. And what I found is an article where Kamala Harris's tax return has been under scrutiny. It's been, rolled out and for the public to see, since she's now a candidate for the presidency. So we get to see behind the curtains a little bit. And they released her tax return, and it's under scrutiny because to kind of get to the high level answer is like she was trying to keep it quote unquote simple. She's not doing anything. There's no tax efficiency. There's nothing.
Yep.
She's actually very, very, very conservative with her money and her tax strategies, quite opposite of somebody like maybe a Nancy Pelosi, where like they have
video calls,
like extravagant in the money Broadcom calls, and it is what they're doing is like highly sophisticated kind of CFA work. Like, I don't know. So, but anyway, going down this thing. So the overview is that she kept her tax return simple. And mind you, she's been making a government salary of like $250,000, and I believe her husband, the first gentleman, I think they call him, or something like that.
If gentleman, that's what you want to call him.
Whatever, man. I don't know much about him, but all I know is I guess he quit work so that he can be there to help her do her quote unquote job, whatever she's doing. But
who knows?
She missed several tax strategies. So one tax strategy that she did is that she released probably like a biography book or something in 2021, and she had like $450,000 in book sales.
Must be nice going to politics,
right? And well, I'll get to that. Hang on, I'll get to that. She had a deductions of like $66,000 that year. This year, the book sales, or 2023 book sales, kind of obviously declined to only $7,000. There's not quite the line to buy the book. And then she had like $1,200 in deductions. And if you look at the percentage of how the deductions work, the one CPA is like, I probably would have found more. Essentially what he said. The other thing is that she had about $50,000 in bank interest. That means she's got money.
She got money,
but she's just got it in the bank.
She got $1 million.
So if she is getting 5%, which is probably the highest you can essentially find, she's got $1 million chilling in cash.
Yeah, she's so representative of the black minority community, isn't she?
Yeah.
Never mind. That's a different topic.
Moving on. Or if she's earning 3%, she's got about $1.7 million hanging out in the bank. Now, I said, okay, that's a lot of money. But, all right, but if you were worth $100 million, is that a lot of money? No. If you were worth $10 million, that sounds like 10 to 15% is in cash.
Yep. That
could be. So I went and did a little check and found out that her net worth is like $8 million.
So representative.
But hang on. So then I started thinking, I'm like, well, they're using net worth. So like, I'm sure she's got some houses. Well, I looked those up. She's got 2 houses in California and 1 in D.C.
Oh, those
Must
Cali
be nice.
houses probably are.
Those are some expensive houses in both areas, right? And they gave the estimate of those houses to be around $7 or $8 million. So whatever is hanging out in the bank might be all of her money.
Yeah.
Like, she's just being extremely conservative. She's not even involved.
Yeah.
Again, unlike Nancy Pelosi. I mean, that's probably why she's only got $8 million in net worth.
Yeah,
and
she's
being
spending $150,000 in property tax every year.
Well, whatever, man. But her husband stopped working. So you could make an argument that, this $1 million is in their quote unquote emergency fund, right? But I'm trying to connect dots and things like this. But like, she's as conservative as it comes. She is not. I don't think she's a lick involved in the market.
So I guess there's 2 ways as a politician to make your money. Either you go in and make a name for yourself and you sell books like Kamala Harris did, or you go in there and do what Nancy Pelosi does and use your go into a meeting and listen to what
you
they're
hypothetically front run what you think may happen based on conversations you heard in the hallway.
Not saying it's happening. I'm not saying.
But I'm just saying, like, that's conspiracy theories.
You never know what you hear on Twitter.
You never know what you hear down the hallway.
That's right. Anyway, I don't know why, from a tax standpoint, we even have to file our taxes at this point. Like, they know. Why do they have 50,000 new IRS agents or whatever? Like, what do they do all day? Like, they know how much we already have. They basically get majority of income. Like, for the most part, 90% of the legwork for taxes, like, they already get reported what they need to have to file your taxes. So why do we even have to file anymore? Like,
all right. So
because if you don't file right, they know what you owe.
Well, they hired all these tax, IRS agents to go and find money that people have quote unquote gotten away with. Okay, how much are you going to find? Because that's my question. Because how much does it cost to employ 50 to 80,000 new IRS agents?
The ROI cost exactly.
Like, are you break even? Like, do they have to be hawks out there to just break even? Right. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
Making the government bigger for no reason at all, like we always do. So from a planning standpoint, though, like you said, the government's very inefficient at what they do. Like, even the people at the top don't look like they're planning things
let me
right.
get one more thing that I got out of this article, and then we can talk about like the our thoughts and stuff. So, but the other thing is, it's very unclear whether she's maxing out her retirement plans, right? So she should have access to a thrift, but it appears, and the way they were talking about inside of this article is that she's not doing that. Yeah. And here's where the mess up is. Like, if you have a large sum of cash, I've been having these conversations with people lately. If you have a bunch of money in non-qualified accounts, that is an inefficient place to have your money because it doesn't grow tax deferred. So immediately just going up the tax efficiency ladder, we go into traditional IRAs, and then the top of the ladder is Roths. If she were just to take saying like, hey, make my paycheck smaller, let me get the deductions, let me get my money in a tax deferred account, and I will use some of my cash to fulfill my cash flow needs. And this article kept on saying, well, she doesn't really need to do this because she's going to be fine for the rest of her life because of government pensions and she'll never, but like, that's not the point, man. Like, you're somebody who is going to be in power, who is going to be dictating how I spend, how I save, and how I spend my tax money, isn't implementing the same strategies that make sense to me, and I can prove them that they make sense. Yeah. Now I'm just pissed off. Like, that's what kind of irritated me.
It's
about
not
this.
The government's job to do almost any of that. Like,
but I have somebody at the top that's so inefficient,
right, telling
me what to do.
Right. I'm just saying that no one should tell anyone what to do.
Understood.
Like, I'm just saying, I am a classic liberal. Like, I believe in what our founding fathers of America believed in. I believe in free markets. I believe in power to the people. I believe in a limited government, more power to the states. I think the states are, the smaller you get from a government standpoint, the more efficient you get. So I'd rather have states more powerful than a big federal government. So the problem is federal government is too big and they're giving out too much juice, and they are deciding what we do, what we can't do. They are dictating tax policy to the point where it is impacting all of our individual lives. So the most inefficient, biggest entity in the world is now in our lives every single day, every morning we wake up. That's not how the system was supposed to be designed. So that's what's the most annoying thing for me. Like, I won't tell you what to do. No. How efficient or inefficient you do. Maybe you'll give me advice. Maybe I'll give you advice. Client standpoint, we always say you're the CEO of your situation. We're the CFO, right? Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Right. I'll show you the pros and cons.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never be the person that goes in the room and say I'm the smartest person in the room.
I am always the dumbest.
I just feel like, hey, I'm smarter than most, but I don't know anyone in this room, so I can't say I'm the smartest.
I just have the Socrates
when you have somebody that's running for president, you know that their personality is like, I'm smarter than everyone in this room.
Yeah, their ego, right, narcissistic. Yeah,
whatever that might look like, right? Is what I would assume, and and then you get like people like Trump who are overly efficient. You don't pay your taxes because I stole the strategies from you guys. Like, you wrote the strategies, I just figured them out.
Yeah, or hired 10 other people to figure them out for me.
Well, right, but he's that savvy.
Yeah.
Like, now it just tells me, like, man, we're about to, there's a possibility that Kamala Harris, an unsavvy financial person's about to run the country.
But this is why, from a planning standpoint, you don't go to H&R Block. You don't go to, I don't want to use them as an example, but like, I'm not saying to pick them out as an example, but you don't want to go to just a random person to think that you're getting the best advice. You also don't want to go to rely on one person for everything.
CPA's running, there's two versions, right? There's the micro view and the macro view.
Yeah.
The micro view is like, how much can I save you right now today, this year? I need to squeeze every bit of juice out of this fruit, right? Yep. Or you have the macro view. It's like, hey, we can make all of these moves, and today's moves might not put the most money in your pocket today, but if we look over the next 5, 10, 20 years, you're going to have more money, and it's going to be in a better tax-efficient place.
And then also looking at what's happening around the world, like I was alluding to, government getting bigger, taxes going up, like all that kind of thing, factoring that into it, and actually having a conversation with your CPA to get their ideas about the future so you can plan around the future as well. Because It's important to think about what's coming, not just saying, oh, if things stay normally how they are now, 20 years in the future, this is what you should do. There's another part of the equation. It's like every model is wrong. It's like every quantitative model in the markets, whatever it be, is wrong because it's always using current data to try and suggest the future. You have to kind of throw in another data point of where is things actually heading, what could happen, and how do you plan around that? That's important.
Well, I mean, it's like doing a Roth conversion. You have to pay tax, but that's the micro. It's like, don't do that. The micro view is like, don't do that. You want to pay more taxes this year? That's stupid. But if we do it now, and taxes go up in the future, because if we were just to easily revert back to the Obama tax laws, taxes would go up 15 to 20% overnight. So. Pick your poison. You as long as you can understand that you have to pay taxes at some point in your life on these investments that you have in tax-deferred accounts. As long as you come to terms with that. If we all just stop
paying taxes, what would they do?
I don't know. Good luck with that charge.
I'll be the first to lead it.
So, all right. Well, there we got it. We got.
We fought a revolutionary war over a 1% T-tax.
Right. Well, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. They tax everything. They tax it before it lands in your paycheck, and then what lands in your paycheck also gets taxed through state taxes, real estate. Everything's taxed. It's
just
crazy.
Saying, thousands and thousands of people died over 1% tax.
Sad day in American history. Maybe it's a good
revolutionary day.
Actually, it was a good
revolutionary day.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here, Luke.
And we're paying 50-60% in taxes to the government now every year.
Better find somebody to say thank you to.
It's great.
All right. Well, that's today's episode. If you have any questions or ideas, comments on the show, things you'd like to hear, you can always reach out to us at info@swpconnect.com, and we will catch you next episode.
See you next time. The opinions expressed in the podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any investment, legal, financial, or tax strategy. It is only intended to provide education about the financial industry. Please consult a qualified professional about your individual needs.